Okay, y'all. I already know what y'all gonna say. Heifer, where you been at? But you know what? Life be lifing sometimes. But look, I'm here now. That's all that matters. Don't write me off like a bad check just yet, y'all. Okay, so I missed y'all. Welcome back, guys. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Candace. I just do typical vlogging. Nothing really like I hone in exactly. Just do daily vlogging, just whatever. But welcome back to my channel. And today it's not really like a chit chat, get ready with me, because obviously I'm already kind of like ready. But I just want to sit down and just catch up with you guys because I know it's been a little minute. So anyway, I have purchased my first home. Thank you. Yay. Happy. I've been in my house now probably about a little over 2 years. I am super happy, satisfied. I got pretty much just about everything that I wanted. I would say maybe about a good 85%, good 85% of everything that I wanted. But I'm ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. I got everything just about that I wanted on my checklist. And I'm happy, so I just want to catch you guys up on that. I know when I did a couple years ago, my home buying series and just looking at homes and stuff, you guys really seem to like that. So I know I had a lot of views and questions and stuff, and the home series was really fun. So I was going to record this video. It was probably about a year ago. I think last July. I had sat down, was doing my makeup, was recording a video, and I was going to kind of, catch y'all up then. But my best friend ended up having an, emergency. So of course, like I said, that took precedence over anything else. So I didn't get a chance to record. And after then, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just never picked the camera back up again. But I was like, you know what? Today, I got a few minutes. Let me catch up with the gang and just catch y'all up because I missed y'all. So anyway, I purchased the home, and like I said, I just wrote down a few things here in my notebook so I could remember. And yeah, we just gonna sit back and chat. So anyway, the first thing that you pretty much want to do is to find a realtor. So my realtor, which is Shantae Bryant, I will link her information down in the description box below. Like I said, I'm not just saying she's the best realtor because she's my cousin, of course, but she's a really good realtor. She will get you pretty much everything that you want, or if you can't get everything that you want, she will get you definitely within an inch close of what you want. But like I said, she worked hard every day trying to find me what I wanted. I told her that, basically, you kind of want everything to be, well, I know at least for me, I wanted everything to be turnkey. I wanted everything to be new. And just brand new and just sparkling. And she was like, okay, well, you do know you may not necessarily get, everything that you want. And I was like, yeah, I know. But like I say, my must-haves were, I definitely wanted like white cabinets. I told her I definitely, or either light color cabinets. I don't really like the wood cabinets. To me, it kind of gives like dark, dreary. I don't like it feels like I'm in a dungeon or a tunnel. I like to have my kitchen to be bright and airy and light, so when I'm cooking, definitely, that's one of the parts of being able to cook for me that I enjoy the most. So definitely wanted light color cabinets, and also in the kitchens and the bathrooms. Of course, like I say, the basic stuff like stainless steel appliances. You want all of the new finishes and everything. I wanted a garage. I wanted a 2-car garage. It had to be at least 3 bedrooms. I would, of course, like I said, I would have taken 4, but I was like, at least 3 bedrooms, at least 2 full baths. I wanted something where I didn't have to cut grass or do any yard work. I mean, the push came to shove, although I wouldn't have minded doing that, but would I really want to? No. So I just kind of, like I say, just gave her everything. And she was like, okay, I'll get to work and I'll start looking. So we went, and yeah, for me, because I would be looking for stuff on my own too. So then I would send her stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, what about this community? I like this community. I like the finishes and, all of the things that they offer. Let's go and maybe take a look, at this community and see. So we did. We looked at a couple of places. Some of them I was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the pictures online looked a little, kind of hyped it up more than what it really was. But, once I saw it in person, I was like, I don't think this is it. And then some I would go and go see, and I would totally just, fallen in love. And once I fell in love, it was like, because then you start looking at it. And of course, like I say, what they do is they show you like the one that's like at the top that they have added all these extra finishes on. So they have different lighting, different walls, and all these super additions. And of course, those are the things that you're going to like the most. So after looking at, different places, and it was one particular community, of course, like I said, I didn't buy within the community. So of course I'll share it with you. If I can find I didn't get any footage, but I think they had like, virtual walkthrough that you could go like online on their website. If I can find it and clip it in here, I will. But like I say, the finishes, the kitchen, the fireplace, the bedrooms, the closets, everything, like the lighting fixtures, I loved everything about it. And once, we calculated all of that, and I'm looking at numbers, and I'm like, babe, I'm gonna tell you, I was looking at houses that was, $400,000. You know what I mean? So, once we started calculating the numbers, and I was looking at what my monthly expenses were going to be each month, and that's not including if anything else happens incidentally wise, you know what I mean? So I kind of had to pull myself back. And my realtor had to do that. Shanti had to do that with me too. You know what I'm saying? She was like, look, this is not your forever home. This is just your first starter home. You're just getting your feet wet. So it's not like you're bound to be here eternally. If you live here a few years, you want to stay here maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then you want to leave and purchase something else, you can do that. But this is just your starter home, so you may not necessarily get everything you want out the gate. So once I came home, and she was like, and then there's a lot of things that you can do on your own. So if you see something in one particular house, they're going to charge an extra $5,000 or $8,000 for it. You literally can do this maybe for a couple of $100. So when I thought about it that way, I was like, yeah, you're right. But like I said, I wanted like the under cabinet lighting. I wanted, recessed lighting, a walk-in closet, custom closet, just everything that most people want. Well, I ain't gonna say most people. I know for me, everything that I wanted in my first home is what, I wanted. All the bells and whistles, right? So anyway, after looking, we look, and she emailed me. I was home one night, and she emailed me. She said, this house just came on the market. I think it would be perfect for you. I think you would like everything. Of course, like I said, you're going to have to kind of be flexible. It still doesn't have everything, but the things that it doesn't have, I think you can still make it work for you. So I was like, okay, went next day. We scheduled a walkthrough, went, looked at the house, and I could feel myself getting excited because I had went into so many other houses, and I had looked, and the ones that I had gotten excited about, the mortgage was just like, it was just too expensive. Once I started calculating numbers, and I'm like, child, I don't want to pay this much money every month. So the ones that were more affordable, I was like, I don't like it. Even one house I think I pulled up to, and I'm the type of person when I'm going to go look at a house and I'm like, okay, this is something that I'm investing my money into, myself into. And I plan on being here, possibly for the next 30 years. It just needed to feel like home. So one house I think I drove up to, and I didn't even get out the car because I drove up to the house and I was like, can I feel myself driving home to this every day? And could I feel ultimately happy? And I'm like, just the curbside appeal, I just didn't feel like how I felt driving up to it. I was like, no, this ain't it. This ain't it, Wilkie. And she was like, you don't even want to go inside. I'm like, nope, I ain't even got to see the inside. Baby, I done drove in, and I just drove up to the house, and it's like, I don't feel anything. So I don't think this is a house for me. So we went, like I say, looked at several houses, and it would just be different things. I just didn't like the cabinets. I didn't like the floors. I didn't like the color of the walls. And I mean, I know the color of the walls, that's something that's simple. You can just take some paint and just paint over. But I'm like, I don't really want to do all that. I just want to be moved in, ready, sweetie. I just want to move in, furnish, decorate. That's it. That's all. Okay. So anyway, she sent me the house. We went to go and tour it the next day. And this was like the first house that I could feel myself actually getting excited about. Like I was walking through the house and I could feel myself like, okay, well, I feel like I can put this here. If this was my house, I would put that there. I would do this in this closet. I would do this in, my bedroom, this and the third. So when I felt myself, kind of feeling like that, I was like, okay, maybe this is it. So anyway, toured the house. I put in an offer that same day. And of course, like I said, a lot of times, okay, y'all, sorry about that. I had a phone call. So anyway, where did I leave off at? Oh, yeah. So I put in an offer. And you know how it is. Like I said, when you put in an offer, sometimes, like I said, they can kind of accept it, right away. And then sometimes you may have to wait. So I put in an offer, I think it might have been Tuesday. It was like a Tuesday evening. My realtor put the offer in for me. And then, of course, from then it was like a waiting game. So, Tuesday didn't hear anything. Tuesday night didn't hear anything. Wednesday morning didn't hear anything. Wednesday evening didn't hear anything. Wednesday night. Thursday morning still didn't hear. And I'm calling my realtor. I'm like, have you heard something? Have you heard? So she was like, no, I ain't heard nothing, but when I do, I'm going to call you. So I think it was like Thursday afternoon. It might have been around about 3 or 3:30. She called me and she was like, can you talk for a minute? Because I was at work and I was like, yeah. And I wasn't sure because, like I said, I couldn't tell by, her voice, like if it was good news or bad news. So she was like, well, they accepted your offer. And when I tell you, y'all, I was so doggone excited. Oh my God. And also this brings it to my point too. When God has something for you, he has something for you. Because I offered, I think, less, because there was people that offered more than I did, and they still decided to go with my offer. So like I said, a lot of times what God has for you, I don't care what other people say, what they do, how they try to sabotage it. If it's for you and God has it for you and got your name on it, that's it. That's all, So I was like, thank you, Jesus. I was so blessed, so grateful, so happy, because a lot of times, especially in this climate, people are trying to get, the absolute most that they can get for anything that they're selling. So for them to accept my offer and it not even be the highest, offer that was made, and they accepted my offer, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank God. So like I said, when you got favor, favor ain't fair, baby. Favor ain't fair. But yeah, I just say, thank you, Lord. So anyway, the process was really easy. After that, like I said, I'm looking at my little notepad. After that, of course, like I said, you got to get pre-qualified. I did all of that. They ran the credit, checked the financials. They want to look at your banking statements, your income tax returns, all of that stuff. Run your credit, make sure your credit is where it needs to be. Everything was easy, breezy with that. The buying process, like I said, it was super easy. The hardest part, I think, of the home buying process for me was just finding something that I like within my budget. Because, baby, like I say, the taste, yeah, my taste can be a little up there sometimes when it comes to certain things. And I just know what I like. But I don't know. I can't really describe. It's like I've always been like this ever since I've been like a little kid. I just have always had expensive taste. I remember my grandma, she, God rest her soul, she worked and retired from Sears and Roebuck. So you know how long ago that's been. And I remember she was taking me to go and buy me some patent leather Mary Jane shoes for Easter Sunday to wear to church. And okay, I was like, yeah, we can get the Mary Janes, yeah, because I know I need them for church. But while we were there, I also saw it was some type of like suede boot or something. And to pay $300 for a pair of boots for a child, my grandma was like, child, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. You won't outgrow these boots, and in 3 months to 6 months, you ain't even gonna be able to fit them no more. That's just $300 weighted. When I tell y'all, I had a whole fit in that store because I wanted them boots. But guess what? Your girl walked out with her patent leather Mary Janes and them suede boots, And my grandma would always say, she would ask my mama, where does this child get this expensive taste from? My mom like, I don't know. She just said. So I've just always been like that. So I know what I like. Some things, like I said, I'm willing to be bend and be flexible on. And then some things I'm like, nope, this is what I want. I don't want no substitutions. If it ain't this, it ain't nothing. That's just how I am. So anyway, that was the hardest process for me. It's just trying to find something, at my price point that I like. Because when I tell y'all, like I said, I was looking at $400,000, $1,000 houses. And I'm like, baby, when I'm looking at that mortgage, of course, like I said, when you're going through the house and you see all this stuff, it's beautiful, it's attractive. You're like, I can see myself living here till you work them figures and see what that monthly mortgage is going to be. Yeah, you come back to earth and come back down to reality very quickly, okay? So anyway, that was the hardest process. But other than that, the home buying process was very simple. All of my whole team, my attorneys, my realtor, everybody, they did the underwriting, everybody, my whole entire team. It was very easy, and it wasn't difficult. But I guess, like I say, the process is different for everybody because I have talked to some people and they act like their home buying process was just horrible. It was a nightmare. They would come home, they would be stressed, they would cry. And I was a little scared because I'm like, is my process gonna be that same way? And then I've heard some people say, well, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I just went in, picked the house, signed the papers, and that was it. So for everybody, like I said, don't let it make you afraid. Everybody's process is going to be different. So what one process is for somebody else may not necessarily be your process, and vice versa. It just is what it is. But my process wasn't difficult. The hardest, like I told you, the hardest part of the process was just finding something that I liked within the price point that I wanted to remain in. That was it. So other than that, I think that is it. I don't really have any other updates. Of course, like I say, furnishing the house was very fun. I'm still not done because there's still a lot of things that I want to do. There's some things that I want to add. There's some other things that I want to remove. Because of course, like I said, you know, you want to get a house that, even like I said, if you don't get everything, at least you want some things that is kind of mostly done the way that you want it to be done. And then you'll just have to go in and just add things here and there. But it's some things that I want to add, some things that I want to remove. I'm still trying to decorate. I don't want to rush. So I'm taking my time because, like I said, I want things exactly how I want them to be. So, you know, for the most part, like I said, the house is fully furnished. I had everything furnished and purchased before I even moved into the home. Thank God. But like I said, it's other things, like I said, just around the house that I want to change out. I did have some customizations done to like my closet and, you know, just other things, you know. So it's been really fun decorating and picking out pieces and just like I say, just adding things and, you know, coming up with your own ideas and making the home your own, you know. So I have, you know, looked at other like Pinterest inspo and just different things. And yeah, so, but other than that, y'all, I'm getting ready to go. This is why I'm all dressed up, of course. I'm going to an event tonight. I don't know if you all know, but it's called Candlelight Concerts. So I'm going to that tonight and I am about to get dressed for that now, which is why, like I said, I'm already done and glammed up. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and get dressed and let y'all get dressed with me. And before y'all ask, I'm not doing not going to do a home tour. You know, I just, like I said, you just kind of got to think about internet safety. And like I said, you don't know who looking at these videos. And like I said, it's crazy people and weirdos everywhere, y'all, you know, and I don't want my house on the internet like that. So, all right, had another phone call. So anyway, but yes, I'm not doing a home tour. I just don't want my house on the internet and everything like that. Like I say, just do the internet safety and just, you know, because it's crazy people out here, y'all. You just don't know. And I don't want my house on the internet. But there may be bits and pieces here and there that I may show, but no home tour, unfortunately. Well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, but just no home tour. And yeah, I had another phone call, y'all. Sorry. But yeah, no home tour. I just don't want my house out on the internet like that. You just don't know who's watching these videos. And it is crazy people and weirdos. Some that you know, some that you may not know. You don't know who's watching these videos. So I just don't want my house on the internet like that. So I will not be doing a home tour. But it may be bits and pieces of, you know, just different things that I may show y'all here and there. But other than that, I'm about to get dressed. I will take y'all with me while I get dressed. And thank y'all so much for hanging in there with your girl. And I will catch y'all in my next one. Bye, guys.